who you got for QB in week number 3?
I'm going over Justin Fields. It's 215 and a half passing yards right now. This is his debut. It's a tougher matchup against the Browns, but the Bears are 7-point underdogs. This should be a pass heavy game script. And, I've been pretty bullish on Justin Fields all offseason. So I love that we get the line pretty low, and his rushing yard line is 44 and a half, which seems high to me. I don't think he's going to be that much of a scrambling quarterback. I think he's going to lean on his arm a bit more than the market's indicating right now. So I'm actually projecting him closer to 240 yards. I mean, he has Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney at his disposal. So I think he's going to, have a sneaky good passing game this week. So I'm going over 215 and a half, and I'd probably take it all the way up to, 225 and a half, 230 right now.
Yeah, I have Justin Fields throwing for 250 and running for 45. Oh. So I'm over both.
Oh, so you do have him rushing for a ton of yards because
I have him at 8 carries, eight carries for 45. I don't feel like that's excessive. I mean, what do you have? He had 10 carries and 10 pass attempts in his debut or something crazy like that.
Yeah, so, no, I think
some of them are near downs, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the rushing line is way off. I think just we don't know. There's a wider range of outcomes, whereas I think his passing floor is pretty high right now. So that's why I'm going with the over on that. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he rushes for over 50 yards. He's certainly talented enough. He flashed that ability in preseason, but I don't think he's like a Jalen Hurts type of scrambling quarterback. That's why I'm, saying just throw that in as a lighter play, but I'm more confident in my passing yard projection for him right now.
Yeah, you're on the under for Fields rushing. I'm just saying I'm over everything. I'm way over the passing yard. So I totally agree with your play. This 215, that's like a Davis Mills-esque line. What's going on? And remember, Mac Jones, his line was 240 or something in week 4, 250. So I don't know
but we knew that was too high.
Yeah, but it's this to me is an over. I did bet the Bears plus 7.5. So maybe I'm a little biased, but I think this Cleveland defense hasn't really come together quite yet in terms of being what we thought it would be, given all the additions. I mean, you gave up 337 to Mahomes. That'll happen. But Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills, still combined for 227. I think and Tyrod Taylor was 10 of 11 for 125.
Yeah.
So, and he only had a rush once. So maybe that's, that could play into it. But the Browns couldn't stop Tyrod Taylor and they couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes. So this sets up well for Justin Fields to go over his passing prop. I like it. My quarterback prop is going to be Kyler Murray over 280 and a half passing yards. Kyler Murray's passing yardage has been one of those things that's just gone up in my model. I haven't passed him for over 300 yards this week. So I look at Kyler Murray in 2 different game scripts this year. In his first game script, it was a blowout win, 289 yards still. So he still would have gone over. In a close game, he still throws for 400. Jacksonville allowed 291 to Tyrod Taylor in a blowout. And a little closer game, they still allowed 328 to Teddy Bridgewater. So Jacksonville's given up way over 280 twice, at least 10 yards over. And Kyler's gone at least 9 yards over this number in both games. So there's no scenario yet in which this has gone under. I know people are thinking, okay, it's going to be an easy win for Arizona. Not so sure about that. This is a classic trap game for Arizona. They got some tough games on deck. They're going on their road here. They're like a touchdown favorite. So I think you'll still see Kyler throw his normal amount of passes. Rondale Moore's getting better and better. I know Hopkins missing some practice, but that's normal for him. So I think he'll be fine. So yeah, Kyler over 280 and a half.
Yeah, I'm right in line with you, but I do take all your points. And I was a bit concerned about a potential blowout, but it does seem like, Jaguars plus 7.5 might be the play.
Oh, no.
I know you and I can't bet on Urban Meyer yet.
We can't bet.
We can't bet on Urban Meyer.
Don't do it. I'm telling you. No, let him cover first. That's all I'm saying. Let them cover a spread first.
Right.
And then,
I'm saying for people that want to bet on that game, it seems like a decent play.
I'm still saying don't. I'm not saying bet on the Cardinals. I'm still saying don't. Don't.
And I agree that Rondale Moore, not that Kyler Murray hasn't really unlocked his ceiling yet, but he had room to grow as a passer. And I think Rondale Moore is helping unlock that. So yeah, I think the market's probably underreacting to Kyler's first 2 games. And I could definitely see why somebody wanted to go over 280 against the Jaguars. Come on, this is an easy matchup. So
and remember Kyler for his career, and I've pointed this out because for his career, he came into the year averaging about 7 yards per attempt. So it's not that he has to throw more; he's just getting more efficient. This year, he's averaging 10.1 yards an attempt. Do we expect him to do that all year? Of course not. But can he average like 7.5? 7. Approach 8 with this amount of weaponry against the bad D? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, who is your first running back prop for week number 3?
Let's go with Najee Harris to go under 69.5 rushing yards.
Where have I heard that one before? Oh,
yeah,
on the other podcast.
I snaked you. Yeah, well, I liked it so much I stole it.
You can have it. You can have it. It's a great play though. It's a great
Appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean, he has to earn most of his yards. I said this after week 1, where 84% of his rushing yards have been after contact this year. Which is good. It means he's earning his yards. He's a good running back, but his offensive line is doing him no favors. So I think we'll just see them dump off to him to be, sort of an extension of the run game. I still like him in fantasy as a result, but I'm afraid we just can't really be projecting him for this many rushing yards yet. So I'm projecting him closer to 60 here, and I'd probably take this down to about 65.5 to 66.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably take it down under 60, to at least to 60. I have him under 60 yards projected this week, and that's the mean. So the median, you got to take another, few yards off that. So, I think he'll do work in the passing game. I think I have him projected for about 4 catches, but I bet the under in this Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game. Cincinnati's allowing just 4.5 yards per play on defense. So this is not an easy matchup all the way around. And Ben Roethlisberger's banged up now. So maybe maybe they run more, but they haven't really been able to run. So that's the issue. It's going to be tough, I think. Tough sledding for Harris. So I like that one. I already talked about that on the other pod. So I'll just go right into mine. Austin Ekeler, over 53.5 rushing yards. He's been over this prop in both games, albeit barely. He's 57 and 54 in his 2 games this year. He's averaging 12 carries a game, so he'd have to average 4.5 yards per carry to go over this number against Kansas City. Well, for his career, he averages 4.7 yards per carry. Kansas City is giving up 130 rushing yards per game and 5.7 yards per carry to running backs this season. And this is what they do. They invite you to run the football. They want you to run because they know that they have Patrick Mahomes on the other side, and he can hit a 75-yard touchdown in one play. So they don't feel like they need to kind of stop the run and they really just don't want to give you anything, huge, big plays over the top, things like that. And they feel like most weeks they won't beat themselves. Funny that I say that after they beat themselves last week, but still.
Although I think the refs helped with that.
But. Right. But I mean, no, you don't see Patrick Mahomes make a worse throw or Edwards-Helaire fumble like that, in succession very often. So I thought you were
talking about the Chargers. My bad.
Oh, no. The Chargers. I'm talking about the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs like to invite the run because the Chiefs aren't going to beat themselves on offense. Like they're going to, if anything, they're going to beat you on offense. So they don't.
Exactly.
You can run for 5 yards and carry all day against them. And that's what they've done in the Mahomes era. Every year, they're bottom of the league in DVOA against the run. The efficiency is very good for opponents against the run. So again, Ekeler doesn't have to do anything crazy. He just has to average his normal carries below his career average, way below the KC average on defense. And he still barely gets over this one. So I think you could have a big game on the ground for Ekeler. So Ekeler over 53.5 rushing yards at PrizePicks.
Yeah, love it. I mean, he was my cheat code. I think he was yours too, on our week 3 DFS preview show.
Yep.
And yeah, the Chiefs defense ranks 32nd in DVOA against the run. Not surprising because, like you said, that's kind of part of their plan and it works. So yeah, love Ekeler here. Both, his rushing and receiving props look enticing on the over. So I'm in line with you here.
Where you go with your first wide receiver or tight end prop for week number 3?
So I think I might have stolen this one from you. This one just seems like a no-brainer right now, and it's Cooper Kupp over 77.5 receiving yards. I'm actually surprised to see it this low. And, I'm projecting quite a bit of regression going forward just because he can't maintain this 34% target rate when he's running a route. Like that's probably unsustainable. Who knows? But he has 100% routes run rate through each of the first 2 games. he's in a clear mind meld with Matthew Stafford. I mean, the connection between the two is unreal. So I expect them to still, connect for 7 to 8 receptions here. And I'm projecting this up closer to 88.5, like approaching 90. I mean, he's your wide receiver too, right? He's my wide receiver 3 in fantasy.
Yeah, he's down to 3 now. I think Adam's.
Oh, he's down
in my little post podcast update.
Oh, okay, but it would not.
He climbed up, and Green Bay. I think they climbed up a little bit.
But if he keeps this up, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, he's in that range when it comes to just raw projection. So I think right now we take anything we see in the 70s with this guy. So I'm going over here, and I would take it up to probably 83.5 would be the cutoff for me. But love this over.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly where I am with his median, right around 83, 84. So I like it a lot. He's my number 3 wide out in fantasy, just like you. I don't think he'll fall any lower than that. If anything, he might bump back up to number 2. But great play. I have him for upwards of more than 6 and almost 7 catches in this game. So and remember, Tampa Bay, good defense, but they'll give up catches. Like we saw that against Dallas.
Yeah.
We saw it, against Atlanta. Like they're going to play cover 3. They're going to play a single high safety. You're going to be able to get some catches on them with your receivers. So, I'm over this one as well. For my first receiver prop, I'm going Justin Jefferson over 73.5 receiving yards. This one is one where he went over it in half of his games last year, even though he wasn't playing full snaps until like week 3 or 4. And then he came just short in the 2 games this year, 66 and 71. But remember who they're playing this week, Seattle. Justin Jefferson lines up in the spot where he's going to face Trey Flowers the most. And Trey Flowers has really struggled to the point where, I don't know, they might bench him. But either way, Flowers has given up 9 targets, 7 catches, 130 yards, a touchdown, a 156 passer rating. They're going to target this matchup, and the total is 55 in this game, 55.5. It's a 2-point spread, and that it opened, I think, around a pick 'em or Seattle -1. So could be another close game, high scoring game, and Jefferson's going to have the best matchup out of the trio of Minnesota receivers. So to me, this is where Justin Jefferson gets back to, putting up one of those stat lines that we kind of came to know him for last year, because he's kind of been quiet this year. We've been talking about KJ Osborne and Adam Thielen scores touchdowns every game.
Yeah.
But remember, Justin Jefferson last season averaged 87.5 yards per game. This year he's at 68. So in a great matchup, does he clear 73.5? I think absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you here. And our boy KJ Osborne has looked great the first 2 weeks, but I think he's going to take a step back, in terms of target share. So I think that's going to start going Justin Jefferson's way. And like I said before we went on, last year, Justin Jefferson, his prop was 18.5 yards. And we know what happened. Usually he gets off to a slow start in week 3, historically, on a 1-year sample size is when Justin Jefferson breaks out. So I see a trend here.